We're here live at the Sled Island Music Festival at the end of day 3. I am joined by the pride of Hamilton, Ontario, B.A. Johnston. B.A., how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Ticats are beating Edmonton right now, so I'm feeling cautiously optimistic.
So let's start out. How do you feel about Johnny Moneybags, Johnny Manziel being on your Ticats?
I'm also a Browns fan, so I went to the Cleveland Browns store when Manziel got drafted, and the entire store was just like gloves with money and like everything had Manziel on it, and he was such a bum. So I'm like really skeptical about Johnny Football.
And I think that'll be the end of talking about. Maybe not the end of talking. Nobody cares about the CFL, but let's talk. I've been attending shows, one of your shows, for about 2 years now, and I want to know: has it been the same show since you started crossing Canada?
Magician never. Yeah, well, no, it slowly evolves, but it's probably been the same show for 2 years.
Is it like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, in that everyone has their role within the crowd? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like it's like
That's fair. I've kind of mentioned that before. Like certain parts of the set, people do certain things. I think some people complain that the set never changes, but I think people also really like the ritual of the show itself. So I find they also complain when things do change. So while they are bored, they do not want me to do anything to change it.
how do you come up with this? Like before every tour, you're like, I feel like playing this song for. I feel like playing this song in Penticton, BC.
No, I mean there's certain things like Saskatchewan you can play. Like I played a song up at the One Leonard Cade in Regina, or I can do my Saskatchewan song. So some places have like their song, but for the most part, I just do the same set forever until someone complains, and then I'm like, oh no, I've been playing the same set for like 4 tours, and then I'll like change a song, 20% of the songs.
And another thing that I've kind of noticed is that another thing I've kind of noticed is that you have like a dedicated following in each city. They're like not the same people, but like there's a group of people that you're close with in every city, whether it be the people in Saskatoon that you're seeing close with.
I mean, you kind of want to have like you got your supporters,
Yeah.
you know, which is always good. I mean, it's like I go see Judas Priest all the time, so you got to have those people, you know.
Yeah. And how is it? Because like you're also like the one of the more active musicians in Canada. Like you go across Canada a lot more than other musicians.
I'm so tired right now. I'm hanging on literally by a thread right now.
Are you glad at the end of a tour to go home to
Oh, yeah,
Hamilton?
this is the last show. I'm so happy this is finished. I've been on tour for like 3 months, and I'm done. No mass, no more, no more.
But you do this regularly. Is this the end of like every tour you feel like this?
No, like the tours in Eastern Canada aren't that long. So the stuff out west is really long, and then I kind of messed up and booked 3 consecutive tours in a row, and then I forgot to book time off. So I didn't think of them as being one tour. Now that I think about it, it's been one long tour. So I've made some mistakes.
So is there going to be like an absence of B.A. Johnston for a bit, from at least in the west?
Yeah, no, I only got 4 shows this summer, and then September I get busy again. So I'm gonna take the summer off.
My name's B.A. Johnson. I drove here all the way from Hamilton, Ontario. No shit. And Mother's Day in 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan. So excited. So excited. So excited to be here tonight in Calgary. And my favorite venue of all time, the Ship. It's great to be here. World's oldest 14-year-old boy. World's oldest 14-year-old boy. You know the greatest thing here tonight with you in Calgary? The greatest thing I'll be here tonight with you in Calgary is it means I'm not in Regina. Thank Christ.
Do you feel really sore after a tour? Like you're very physical.
I mean, I didn't used to get sore, but now, yeah. Like I messed up I cut my niece up last night, but then they kind of healed. Like I was like, there was a weird like scar, like lump, and I was like, this is not good. And then I woke up and it was gone. So maybe I'm like Wolverine, but in more pain.
And when you released your first album in 05?
First record came actually in '99,
Oh wow.
but it was like I used to burn CDs at my mom's on her CD burner.
Okay, so I'm gonna go that first record just so
That's the first real record.
Yeah, so we go over my
Maybe
time.
2003, that might have been the first one, but I stopped making it because the cover had a potato stamp, and I got sick of cutting up potatoes to make the cover. You know, when you cut up a potato and then you put it in paint and you stamp.
You did that by hand?
Yeah, and I sold like 1,000 of those things. So I was just like, oh,
That's gonna be on Discogs in
Yeah,
like
it's
20 years, and it's gonna be
$4 or something.
probably maybe more.
Yeah,
It's Canadian.
$7.
$7. In Saskatoon, one of the CFCR sponsors is Amigos Cantina, a place that I feel like you enjoy playing.
Yeah, I love Amigos. Amigos is just one of those venues that's always been there. Like Hamilton's really not Hamilton. Canada's only got a handful of kind of like iconic venues, really, and you have to put Amigos in that conversation.
And one of the people that's worked there for a long time is Michael Eva, and you kind of have an ongoing thing with him in Saskatoon. Who started this sourpuss war between you and him?
Michael started it.
And who's going to end it?
I'm gonna end it. He's gonna be buried in sourpuss. Michael, I'm gonna throw you off your own balcony and then pour sourpuss off the balcony into that dumpster for your Instagram stories.
It goes like this. I wanna drink in a bar. I wanna drink in a bar. I wanna drink in a bar filled with aliens. Buying shots for a guy with lobster eyes. Some guy buys me shots, has a lobster body, his human eyes. I wanna drink in a bar. I wanna drink in a bar. I wanna drink in a bar filled with aliens. Holy shit, I can.
I want to like let's not have a funny interview. Let's try and have a little bit more serious musician interview. But I have to ask you, if someone's going to Hamilton for the first time, other than hot beef sandwiches, where's that again? Where the good hot beef?
Tally Ho open till 3 on the weekends.
What are the Hamilton institutions that people kind of
Food or not food?
not food, just in general that they have to go to?
I mean, you probably should go to a Ticats game. That's probably like our institution.
It's like going to a Rider game in Regina.
It's probably not that good. It's pretty good. People smoke more cigarettes. I talked to my friends, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you can't. There's no in and outs at the Riders games for smoking." And I was like, "If they tried to do that in Hamilton, they would burn the stadium to the ground."
It would just be a cloud of
It was
cigarettes.
because the entire stadium smokes but me, so it's just like had like 28,000 people go outside. So yeah, but no, I would go to a Ticats game, and there's a thing that people don't know about Hamilton is we got a good farmers market. Go get some cheese. It's cheap and good.
That's good to know.
Home of cheap cheese.
If I like rattle off things I know about Hamilton, so I said Tally Ho's earlier. That's
Yes.
that's the institution in Hamilton being open till
That is an
30.
institution that's been there since I believe the early 60s, late 50s, maybe early 60s, I think.
Something like Sonic Onion Records. That would be an institution musically in Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean Sonic Onion that's been there since the 90s. I think they mostly just do music distro and they do the Supercrawl Festival. But yeah, I mean I was going to see Sonic Onion shows when I was in high school.
What do you remember some of those first Sonic Onion shows?
I mean, I just remember going to one and there's a lot of straight edge people and I was really confused because they had a lot of X's and they were kind of angry and I was like, and there was a lot of them. I was like, this seems like people are really into this weirdness.
My boss goes to work dragging a trailer, towing jet skis behind the Lincoln Navigator. And I asked for a raise the day before, but she says a 25-cent raise is something that she can't afford. Something that she can't afford. So now there's no toilet paper in the staff bathroom. I got a stack like a pyramid back in my house. And I don't care if it burns when I wipe, 'cause I stole it from work and it feels so right. Feels so right. I don't care if it burns when I wipe.
Any like final words? You know, this is an exciting time. I feel like this is an exciting time to be B.A. Johnston.
What a time to be alive.
Is it better than being a person who worked in a grocery store? Which
Oh, that was the worst. Yeah, this is way better than that.
what did you do in a grocery store? I currently work in a grocery store.
I was assistant to the produce manager.
Oh wow.
That was
And-
good. I like that job.
And what do you think the worst part of being an assistant produce manager is?
Unloading the trucks. They throw like corn on you, so I'd be like really hungover 18-year-old, and this guy Willie would just throw sacks of like 100-pound sacks of corn at you. So you'd be all like, oh, and then he'd be like hitting you with corn. That was the worst part of the job. Corn, a lot of corn relative things. Delicious but heavy.
What is the one thing that you have to tell people if they're working in a grocery store not to do, other than stuff T-bones down their pants?
Yeah, I was gonna say don't steal near the cameras. That's not a good idea. I wouldn't tell people what not to do. I tell people what to do, and what you want to do if you're working in a grocery store is pretend to look for grocery carts.
I know this feeling all too well.
You just go outside and walk around, and if anyone asks what you're doing, you say I'm looking for grocery carts.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank B.A. Johnston for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. All the Sled Island coverage is going to be next week here on CFCR. And I want to shout out Paved Arts for lending us the camera equipment for this week. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on another video.